So what did you guys think? Let's get some feedback.
Intense.
Intense. Intense is a good word. It picked up in the last 10 or 15 minutes of it, right? What about some other feedback? Yes.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, the entire film basically, because the point of enlightenment was not worth that full film, and it wasn't even clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you
They kind of-
elaborate on that?
They kind of brought the whole idea of religion, but it wasn't even necessary because it didn't even have to be the final viewpoint of agree to disagree, and they're all leaving being the exact same people they were before.
You think?
So it was completely pointless. Yeah.
Do you think they were
I don't
living
think that
exactly the same people
Any of
they
them
were
were like,
before?
he's gonna
I don't
keep
think
on
so.
preaching religion like he does and interweave it somehow in his business.
Uh-huh.
Kevin Spacey is still bitter sarcastic. You know he's going to act the same in the future. Like he's like, I respect you. Like that was that glance at the end, but it was I don't know.
Okay, Adrian.
I don't know. I at the end of the movie, I kind of thought that they each took something from each other because at the end, like you were saying, Kevin Spacey gave him that, kind of smile, and it's just like at the end, he's the one with the big Kahuna because he kind of stuck with how he thought he should do it.
Who? Kevin Spacey or Bob?
Bob kind of stuck with what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end, by trying his method, I guess it kind of got closer to
The president.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to Bob, who just supposedly knew about how to get things done, but he couldn't get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and I think Bob actually got something from what Danny DeVito's character said. About he kind of went in there with an agenda,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
About he was selling his religion,
Mm-hmm.
and so maybe he did kind of get some of that too. It's like, okay, maybe I don't have to always sell myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think they each got something from each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyone want to counter argue Trish's point that the whole thing was unnecessary? What you had to say to Adrian was pretty interesting. Anybody else want to sort of add to what Adrian said? Yeah, Ryan.
I think that Bob came out on top just by knowing stories of the Bible. He's the one who was invited to the exclusive party because he was true.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't trying to sell his product or do business or live life, but he actually made it to the party,
Mm-hmm.
which I would imagine would be heaven or whatever. God comes down as a disguised person, changes his name tag, whatever, and he finally gets in.
But what do you think about Danny DeVito's speech, though? That powerful, impactful speech about how when we sway the direction toward one end, we end up becoming a marketing rep or seller, and we end up giving a pitch after all. What do you think about that? That was the thesis of the movie was laid out in the last 10 minutes, especially during the Danny DeVito speech. Did you notice that? All that stuff about character, integrity, honor, trust, not wasting an opportunity to waste an opportunity, right? Being genuine, not being having a hidden agenda, right? Adrian.
I'm not sure if Bob's character was actually having like a hidden agenda. I guess I don't know. It kind of seemed like he was just truthful to who he was,
Mm-hmm.
and he was sincere in how he goes about things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's kind of the point about the point of the movie is that each one of those characters is kind of true to who they are. Kevin Spacey's character, he's blunt but honest.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of what works for him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob's character, I guess, is, he has religion,
Mm-hmm.
and so that he's just trying to be true to who he is.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, all three of them were true to who they were.
Well, they're trying to be.
They were really trying hard to maintain that integrity in an environment that fosters anything but. Right? Did you notice that? But let's go back to what Trish was saying. I want to hear more about that argument that the whole thing was unnecessary. Brenda.
Well, I think Danny DeVito's speech was like really good about like I agreed with that, like to not waste opportunities.
Sorry about that. Okay.
But I also think like there's a time and a place for everything. Like I think it was kind of dumb that he would pass up a huge business offer just to talk about religion and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to know when to like balance it and to be like turn off one thing to not turn down something and be totally naive.
Mhm.
You need to know when to like control it, but I think, like I agree half and half, but there are a lot, there's one end of the spectrum and the other, you have the
Mhm.
Bob and then the,
Bob was very idealistic, wasn't he?
yeah.
And first of all, don't forget he wasn't a sales rep. He was there for technical support. Remember that?
Mhm.
He was in research and he was there to provide technical support, and that's that. He was a representative of that professor who invented 20 patents, right? So he wasn't there to be the salesperson. He was just there to exhibit the fact that he knows what he knows, or at least pretend to know what he knows. But he ends up swaying the whole thing toward what was really intimate to him, how he could reach people, right? Any other feedbacks? Yeah, Rebecca.
I had a couple thoughts. I thought first, kind of similar to what you were saying, I thought that Bob's character, he was remaining true to himself because he being the youngest guy, he could have swayed the conversation about sales, and he, after he'd already gotten to know him, he could have come back probably like a big winner for the company by gaining this guy's trust and then talking about the lubricants, and he didn't.
Mhm.
But I thought Danny DeVito's speech was really impactful, that most of what we do when we're conversing with people is for some kind of hidden agenda. You are trying to get people to agree with you or take your side or do something for you, when he made the comment about asking about someone's kids.
Mhm.
But what's kind of in my mind throughout the movie, Danny DeVito was saying, we're gonna be okay, we're gonna be alright.
Mhm.
And when it showed kind of like what their daydreams were, his was drinking, smoking, and jumping off the balcony to kill himself. But throughout the movie he's telling everybody, oh, it's okay, we're gonna be okay, I don't drink. I thought that was really strange. It's kind of like
Inner conflict.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, like he's saying one thing but really he's thinking about doing the
Something
total
else.
opposite.
But which he didn't do.
Right.
I mean, we all have the
But
dark
he grabbed
sides
the
of our
bottle, he's,
characters.
before he called, he's kinda like looking at it,
Right.
and when he's daydreaming and he's sitting there drinking the martini and smoking the cigar, it just was kind of like going against everything that he had been saying when he got to the hotel.
Mhm. That's interesting. He picked up on his cognitive dissonance that was going on within Danny DeVito's character. That's some good points. What about some others? Let's hear from the students that are quiet. Anybody else who has something else to say? Garrett, you were pretty animated through the whole thing.
I like to laugh.
Yeah.
I wonder what the CEO was getting out of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he talking to Bob about Bob's religion?
Right.
Did he share the point of view and liked talking about the subject, or was he just curious about Bob?
Mm-hmm.
And why did he invite him to a party that featured mostly people drinking and standing around at midnight?
Mm-hmm. It
What's
was an
in it for
exclusive
Bob?
party. Obviously, they did agree on the religion thing. Remember, there was a mention of that earlier. They did have a consensus on that. So that was something very important to him,
Mhm.
right? In other words, Bob started talking about what was important to the president of the company. What was his name? What was his name, Jimmy?
Forward.
Yeah, Mr. Fuller, Dick Fuller. And so he sort of merged into what was important to the other person. In other words, he applied the you point of view, or the receiver point of view, instead of what was important to him.
Well,
And this-
accidentally.
Accidentally, but they ended up agreeing on something that usually, like Kevin Spacey said, we don't talk about these things unless you choose to agree with the other person, because it's something very intimate, religion and politics. Discussing that in the sales, conventions, but not very much recommended out there, right? So, what did you think of that?
I think he was being true to what he believes is his purpose,
Mm-hmm.
which apparently is spreading his religion.
Mm-hmm.
And good on him for that, and not veering off and taking a cheap opportunity to go for a selfish gain as a salesman.
Mm-hmm.
But he was still acting as a salesman.
Yes, and that was what Danny DeVito was trying to point out. Remember, he was still acting like his marketing rep. He
Yeah.
still had a pitch, but it was just, how can we say it? It was unintended.